Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor, y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.
Hola, bienvenidos a Cambiando el Mundo de Personas con Discapacidad.
Cambiaremos el mundo teniendo igualdad.
Mi nombre es Raquel Quesada y seré la presentadora del mismo. En el programa hablaremos de la no discriminación, la participación e inclusión plenas y efectiva en la sociedad, a la igualdad de oportunidades de los derechos y a la accesibilidad de las personas con discapacidad, el respeto a la evolución de las facultades de los niños y las niñas con discapacidad y sus derechos a preservar su dignidad, la inclusión, la sensibilidad, la educación, la diversidad. En este programa todos los sábados celebraremos la vida de las personas con discapacidad. Que juntos podemos cambiar el mundo de personas con discapacidad.
Gracias al esfuerzo de parlamentarios, se aprobó una moción parlamentaria que hace una cosa súper concreta y que como gobierno tenemos que promulgar, que es que hoy día, si tú te estacionas en un estacionamiento para personas con discapacidad o impides el acceso o utilizas parte del espacio, la sanción aumentó. ¿Cuál va a ser ahora? Vas a tener que pagar entre 50.000 pesos y 75.000 pesos de multa y además el juez puede suspenderte la licencia si es que has cometido otra infracción grave en el año. Por lo tanto, de la situación anterior, que era una multa mucho inferior y que no había suspensión de licencia, tenemos hoy día una sanción más dura que hace que tengamos incentivos correctos para que la gente no ocupe los estacionamientos de las personas con discapacidad. Esperamos que los chilenos tengamos conciencia de esto, pero además ya tenemos sanciones más duras para aquellos que no son capaces de entender este mensaje.
Hola, buenas, soy Javier.
No hay límites capaces de parar a una persona que lucha por su sueño. Ay, pero existen miles de barreras que se levantan al paso para frenarla. Cada persona repleta está de posibilidades que le hacen machacar.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006. A continuación, Footless Yo, más allá de una amputación. Presenta EE.UU BECKWITH. Características de este programa. Audio en inglés, subtítulos en castellano.
Hello there, my beautiful, lovely internet friends. Welcome to my car, sitting in a parking lot where I have just purchased fries for lunch because I make healthy life choices. I wanted to talk to you about something that's been going on over the last couple weeks, and that is the fact that I think I am approaching being burnt out on what I'm doing with YouTube. I'm not quitting YouTube. I have no desire or inclination to do that. I love what I do. But the particular process that creators have to abide by to make YouTube work, after doing this for 3 years straight, after never taking, I don't think ever taking a week off, like ever, has begun to really wear down on me, especially with other things going on in my life right now. And I want to talk about that because I think a lot of viewers might not know what goes on behind the scenes with creators. And maybe this has happened with other YouTubers, you know, where you see someone like on the rise and they're doing really good and they're like gaining a big audience and they're going and they're going and they're going and they just stop. They just ghost, or they like come back 2 months later and they're like, hey guys, sorry, I got super burnt out. I guess I'm back now, but you know, I had to stop because YouTube rewards consistency. And if you don't post, not only are you not getting new views or new viewers, you're also kind of penalized on a whole. If you are not posting for, you know, a couple weeks at a time, you are jeopardizing literally everything that you have gained. The way the algorithm works, you need to be consistently posting videos like a couple times a week, once a week, you know, if not more, unless you're like a really large channel that has a very established base. But for the most part, for the average creator, you have to be cranking out content constantly. For the first 3 years of YouTube, I did a video every other day. And I really enjoyed that, and it was amazing, and it was a lot. But then it got to be a little bit too much, so I went to like a video every 3 days, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I'm doing at least 2 videos a week, and I've stuck with that, you know, for a while now, even going through surgeries, because I'm like, you can't really stop if you want to keep the audience that you have. And it's not so much that like people like you, my dear lovely viewers, are going to be like, you didn't give me a video for 2 weeks, well, screw you, I'm done with this. It's that YouTube won't show you my videos, like it won't recommend content out, and that becomes problematic. And so there's always this ongoing anxiety in the back of your mind that you cannot stop, otherwise you will lose everything you've been working for and everything that you've been doing this for. And there's been a lot happening in our lives in the last 3 months. Some things that I've mentioned, some things that are private, and I am worn down. I'm doing okay. My mental health is being taken care of, but I am worn down. And I just got back from 2 weeks of traveling, which was good, but a lot. And some of it was very intense, and it wasn't just like a vacation. And I got back and I'm like, okay, you took 2 weeks off. You have to like dive back into this. You have to get stuff done. And I have just been paralyzed and so anxious and feeling like panic over this. And as I was sitting in the drive-thru line, waiting for my fries, and if we're totally honest, I also did get a milkshake. I just had the kind of realization of maybe just be honest with you, my audience, and let you guys know that it's really hard to take a break from YouTube. I've taken 2 weeks off, and I think I'm going to take at least another week where I'm actually removing the pressure to have to come up with something, and maybe longer. I'm not sure, but I'm not disappearing from social media. I've been doing a lot with TikTok and Instagram, which I really enjoy. I feel like there's a lot less burnout with that because it is, the algorithms just work differently. And yes, you have to be posting, but there's a lot less effort, depending on the video, that goes into like making a TikTok or an Instagram reel or an Instagram post than happens with YouTube. But what you're gonna see in the next couple weeks, you're gonna see a lot of shorts. And if you aren't familiar, if you look to your, I picked this up like it had my phone, I'm actually talking to my phone. If you go to the YouTube mobile app, it's like the second button in at the bottom, shorts. It's like short form videos, which is not how I originally used YouTube, which might not be how you've originally used YouTube. but I will let you know that I'm going to be releasing a lot of shorts pretty much daily for the next couple weeks. I have them scheduled out, so I am going to be taking a break as these little videos are going up. I don't believe they go out in your notifications feed, so there's something you can either look up, or maybe they're pop up in recommended videos, or if you want to check out, you know, other people's shorts, then YouTube starts recommending more shorts to you in general. So if you want to see those short videos, I'd love for you to check them out. And then as I feel ready, I'm going to be coming back and posting my kind of bread and butter long form content, which I love doing. I love long form videos, but I have felt so much pressure that I have to do it, and I have to do it good. And I felt that pressure for like 3 years now, that I need a breather where I allow myself the space to not think about it, and to just relax into the idea that, yeah, maybe my channel will take a little bit of a hit, and that's going to be a bummer. But additionally, that pressure has also led to me not attending to other things like I need to, like my Patreon community, which is the reason why I can do this. I have not been consistent with, you know, content and communication, and I genuinely feel not great about that. And so I need to take some time to focus on that, because it's what I want to be doing. It's what I, like, you all are who I want to be engaging with. But you know, over on Patreon, that's a very special community that you guys have given me, and I feel like I've been failing over there, and I need some time to kind of reassess. Now, I have been told that it's like silly to do these kind of videos, like, don't just make announcements, do things. But I did want to clue you in on what is going on behind the scenes. I think that losing Monkey a month and a half ago, combined with having surgery, a lot of interpersonal things that have been going on, the ending of the lawsuit, which was super stressful, just a lot of little things that are not the end of the world, like the kidney infection and the multiple ER trips and like medical trauma, and all of that over the last couple months has just piled up, and I'm gonna allow myself the space to breathe. And I hope that I will see you as soon as I'm back here in, you know, a week or two. But yeah, I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but I wanted to invite you into the process and what is going on. And yeah, if you want to see more of what I'm doing, feel free to hit up Instagram or TikTok. I might slow down on those too. I'm supposed to see my best friend, who I haven't seen for a very long time, here in the next couple days, and so I'm gonna take some time off completely to hang out with her. Some scheduled stuff will be going up, but anyways, dealing with some burnout. YouTube makes it difficult, and maybe this video is just my way of giving myself permission to you know, actually take a break. So thanks for listening. If you made it this far, I feel like I've said a lot of the same things over and over again and been repetitive, but here we are. All right, now it's time for me to eat these French fries and return on to my normal daily programming of So last week I bought googly eyes for my little nubbin socks here, and we turned Mr. McNubbins into a fully developed character, but I feel like he needs a few more costumes. And I have not done crafty things in years. I got these pieces of felt for like $5 off of Amazon, even more googly eyes, and we're gonna create Mr. McNubbins, a whole new character. Also, hi and welcome to the new subscribers. I very unexpectedly had a few short videos here on YouTube that have done outstandingly well, and our community has grown exponentially, and it's so lovely to see new faces and old faces here. Let's get to crafting. Outstanding. All right. Start with googly eye placement. I feel like that is the foundation of Mr. McNubbins' new character. I got super glue. In retrospect, this is probably overkill. I probably just needed like fabric glue, but I am not gonna have my nubbin puppet falling apart. I feel like the eyeball placement is of paramount importance. Let's say right there. All right, let's get these cemented in place. So as these videos have unexpectedly gone out to millions of people, I've gotten a lot of questions about my little nubbin here. So I thought as we craft, I would answer a few questions. By far the most asked question is, why is it so gosh darn wiggly? And when I see this played back on camera, I'm like, wow, that is one floppy leg. So here's the situation. When you have a leg amputation, they basically take your calf muscle, leave it a little longer than where they cut the bones, and then they fold it back up over, because the end of your leg needs padding. So my bones end like right there, right? Well, we got a lot of movement underneath there, and that's muscle and tissue, so that when you are using a prosthetic leg to walk, you have some padding here. And trust me, it is very, very important, because without that, you get real uncomfortable. Got 2 little eyeballs. So I did some sock puppet research, and I think we're just gonna wing it with character creation. I think step 1 is a cute little pink tongue. Oh, my dog's doing the zoomies. Oh no, chaos is going to ensue. Guys, mommy's working. They have no respect. None. I used to be crafty back in the day. Let's see if those skills have stood the test of time. Come on up, Sadie. So I'm not gonna lie, it's been very therapeutic to turn my little nubbin here into some kind of character that brings people joy. I haven't really talked about this a lot in videos, but seeing my leg uncovered is still something that makes me deeply uncomfortable. So to create this personality around it, I think is actually delightful. There, no, probably there. Yeah, like at the bottom. Is it safe to super glue this to me? How's that tongue placement? Another thing people were super curious about is there any benefit to having this little chunk of my leg left over? Like, why didn't they just go through the knee or above the knee? And this is a question that is actually super important. Because I have this much of my leg left, it actually allows for my prosthetic to attach to me, because the socket goes around there, I still have my knee movement, and I've been able to learn how to walk again that way. I have some friends who have a lot less leg because of the circumstances of whatever caused their amputation, where they might only have a few inches, and it does make prosthetic fitting a little bit more difficult, so I'm really grateful I have like 6 inches below my leg. But there are all kinds of amputations. Sometimes they do go through your knee, sometimes you have to have an above the knee amputation, but if at all possible, it's really important that you keep all the human joints that you can. All right, let's see if that stays. What kind of nose does he need? Red, yes. We need a red little like triangle or heart. That's what we'll do. I'm trying to be a little stingy with this because when I ordered this off Amazon, these looked like full-size pieces. Yes, I should have checked the measurements, but I didn't. Does that look good? I don't feel like that's enough nose. You know, it's my sock puppet. I'm just gonna say it's enough. Next, I think we need some ears. So I was just scrolling through the comments looking for other questions to answer. I do not like amputee people for one reason. I'm a person who has never broken a bone or lost a limb. I don't know how to go through life without it. I genuinely don't like them because they're too strong. Amputees arise. I mean, he's not wrong. We are pretty strong. We want to match the color. No, I think we want to go a little bit darker. One of my favorite things that has happened in the last week is I had someone reach out to me who runs like a kid show and asked if they could interview my nubbin as if like he was a separate being, which to be fair, he is sentient. He absolutely is a separate being. But I was like, heck yes, absolutely. What a fantastic, lovely thing to be able to do. You know, a few years ago, did I think that I would be giving interviews with a nubbin sock puppet? No, but life does take unexpected turns. I want like rounded ears like that, you know? We are winging it here, guys. Fun story, I actually have a 103-degree fever right now. It's not COVID. Ooh, if I could make it stand up like that, that'd be good. So I think I'm making sense as I'm recording this, but I'm also not sure. Oh, he could be a puppy dog with like floppy ears. That would be easier to do. That is what we're going to do. What do we think? I think it's good. I think this is working. The ears are too small, but maybe that will add to the charm. I feel the super glue sticking to my skin underneath. That is not a good sign. Oh no, 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 no! Stay on, little puppy dog ears. No! So the original reason I was talking about having a nubbin warmer that eventually turned into a sock puppet was, I don't know if I've talked about this before, this gets so cold. There will be nights where I like can't sleep because I feel it's just ice cold, right? I think part of that is due to circulation issues. You know, when they remove a part of your body, especially on your lower limb, you can run into some issues with that. But I realized all I needed to do was just flip a sock upside down, this becomes the part for the knee, and it actually kind of fits perfectly. So on cold nights here in Colorado, I'll put a sock on and then a little nubbin warmer. The moment of truth. Will he stay together? Oh, ouch. Don't, oh, ow, oh my god. The super glue like glued to the little hairs at the bottom of my leg. Let's rip off the Band-Aid. Okay. Oh my god. All right, here's what we're working with, and I kind of love it. Well, hi Sadie, you wanna come join us? This is my beautiful girl, Sadie. She is just about 10. I've had her since she was 7 months old, and she's an old curmudgeon is what I was trying to say. Completely harmless, but she growls and whines her way through every single day, don't you? Life is hard. I know. Let's see the finished product. I really feel like I need to learn ventriloquism. I need to learn how to be a ventriloquist now that I've acquired a brand new career. If I made nubbin sock puppets, would anyone buy them? That's a very niche market. And with that, my dear friends, I'm gonna make myself some more tea with lemon and a lot of honey and hopefully get this fever down. I probably shouldn't be drinking tea if I have a fever. Tea makes my throat feel better and is comforting. I'm gonna do some Googling on this. So with this being our official first attempt, I would love to hear what kind of characters we would like to create next on the comment section down below. I'm sure there's like sock puppet TikTok or sock puppet YouTube that I could probably learn a lot from and get some character inspiration and maybe upgrade from Loctite super glue for our next crafting project here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. With this being said, I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you. You could be anywhere else in the world doing anything else, and you chose to hang out with me in a silly video for a little while, and I really appreciate that. A big thank you to my patrons. You will see their names at the very end of this video. I'm gonna play a couple of the shorts that I've been referring to. If you haven't checked them out yet, I've been having so much fun creating just like shorter little bits of content. I've been loving it. Check these out. Let me know what you think and what we should name Mr. Sock Puppet. I love you guys. I'm thinking about you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. Something you might not know about us amputees is that our little nubbins can get really cold. Sometimes this is due to circulation issues, other times it's phantom sensations like my foot is in a bucket of ice water but my foot doesn't exist anymore. So let me show you my favorite amputee hack that I came up with. Here we have a pair of socks but only one foot, so this one is useless, right? Or is it? All you gotta do is rotate that sock so that the heel part is on top and you suddenly have the perfect nubbin warmer. You wanted googly eyes? We got googly eyes. So I ordered small to medium assorted googly eyes, and this is what I got. These are massive. All right. What about eye positioning? Are we thinking kind of like a snake there? I'm gonna say about there. Yeah. Okay, I kind of love this. Good morning. It's like he's a whole character. He needs a name. She needs a name. Bye. Today we're going to be talking about a word that I personally have a vendetta against. We're talking deep-seated animosity, anger, and rage. Yes, I'm working on it in therapy. That's beside the point. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a topic that I have struggled so much of my life with. It is a word that has been used against me, caused great harm, but I also believe is a beautiful concept in theory. But how it is presented so often throughout culture, whether that be in Christianity, in New Age circles, in mental health conversations, I do think there is a major flaw with how we talk about forgiveness that no one seems to mention. So with that being said, if you have ever struggled with the idea of forgiveness, been confused by it, been angered by it, then this video is for you, my friend. Today's video is made possible by June's Journey, which is a free-to-download mobile game. If you know me at all, you know that I am not a gamer. I have like 2 games installed on my phone. This is one of those 2 games. It is a hidden object mystery game based in the 1920s, a very classy era. As you go through the storyline of June's Journey, you are attempting to help June solve a murder, her sister's murder. Along the way, you meet characters and friends as you're trying to search for clues to solve this mystery. You're gonna find hundreds of different beautifully created scenes where you're looking for clues, you're looking for hidden objects, you're racing against the clock, but it's also something that's really relaxing and you can do at your own pace. Check out this journey today and download by clicking the link in my description. Like I said, I don't play a lot of games. This is one I genuinely do play because it helps me kind of take my mind off of things, relax. I'm looking for different objects. I'm kind of slowly going through this story. I've already made it to level 6, which I'm pretty proud of. Just kidding, level 7. I literally just made it to level 7. So link in the description, check it out and let me know what you think. And now let us dive back into that F word. When I say that I hate forgiveness, I think most people's reactions would be, but Joe, forgiveness is a beautiful, healing, restorative process. It's a weight being lifted off of you. Good people forgive people. God, if you believe in God, wants you to forgive people. So what's the problem? Quick point of clarification. I don't actually hate forgiveness. I do think it is a beautiful tool when used appropriately. What I'm talking about specifically is the way that it is often presented and pushed on us to do. With that being said, let's continue. Okay, so for a little bit of context, I was born and raised in a conservative Christian environment, and I spent the first 2 decades of my life completely dedicated to the church. And a lot of what the church taught me about forgiveness, which is what I'm going to talk about, is also reflected in culture. So if you didn't grow up in the church, I do think we see this in a lot of self-help books, in a lot of popular conversations, in quotes that people cross-stitch on things. Forgiveness is kind of put on this pedestal, which perhaps it deserves, of being a vital part of life. But especially in Christianity, where I was taught that God forgave me for being a dirty, rotten sinner and all the terrible things that I had done. God is willing to forgive humanity and anyone of any sin. Therefore, As people, it is our responsibility to fellow man to forgive whatever trespass has been done against us. And going through middle school and high school with this mindset of how important it is to forgive those around us, I think was a beneficial thing. But that definitely changed when I actually had something deep to forgive. When you're talking about people who cut you off in traffic, or a friend who's flaky or says something mean to you, and the importance of forgiveness and restoring relationships, you know, that's all well and good, but in my early 20s, I was in an abusive relationship that involved sexual assault and was something that wrecked me to my core. The trauma that I experienced in that whole situation was deep and significant, and as I was able to come out of that relationship and began speaking to my close people, you know, mentors, people in the church, even friends, about what had happened to me, the number one thing that was on most people's minds was forgiveness. In the days and weeks after being sexually assaulted the last time, I can't tell you how many people who knew what occurred talked to me about where my heart was on forgiveness. You know, had I forgiven him? Was I going to? Was God working on that with me? The weight of forgiveness was so heavy. It really did seem like people cared more about my ability to be able to forgive someone who had done such a monstrous thing than they cared about my mental health and well-being. It was so confusing to have so many people pushing me towards forgiveness as I was trying to figure out how to live, how to stay alive. The obligation and necessity of forgiveness weighed on me for years after this. I wasn't able to immediately forgive this man. There were days when I thought, I have no freaking desire to ever do that. There were other days where I desperately wanted to because I knew that that was the good, right thing to do, but I genuinely felt incapable of even knowing how to start that process. To be honest, it grew into this thing in my mind where I carried deep self-hatred and loathing. I thought I was weak and a bad person and doing a bad thing and committing a similar crime that had been committed against me by not being able to forgive this man. Looking back on that situation and the shame and guilt and self-hatred that I carried with me for not being able to forgive immediately or even as time went on, it was really difficult. I just wish I could go back in time and hug that girl and let her know it's gonna be okay. Here's what I wish I would have been told about forgiveness that it took me a long time to learn and understand. Number one, there isn't a timeline for forgiveness that you are required to be on. Whether you're a person of faith or not, I'll make the same argument in either situation. Forgiveness, if it's something that you want to pursue, is a process. It does not happen overnight, generally speaking, with serious offenses. It's not a light switch where you just forgive and then you're totally good, you're done, you've wiped your hands of it. Check, forgiveness done. It's something that is done over and over again in different situations as different emotions arise. It's a long process. But whether that process takes a couple weeks for you or a couple decades, neither is a statement on your value or your goodness as a person. The next thing that I wish people would have told me about forgiveness is that it isn't actually a comment on your worth. Not being sure if you can or you want to forgive someone of something does not make you a bad person. Speaking just from my own perspective, we have linked forgiveness with being a moral and good person. Like you're a better human if you can do it. And I just genuinely don't believe that that is true. If right now there's a situation or a person that you're thinking about that you can't forgive or you don't know how to, or like I said, maybe you don't want to, that's okay. It's okay to sit on it for a very long time. It's okay to contemplate and ponder whether you want to go down that path at all. And it's okay to decide that maybe you don't want to. Which brings me to the next thing I wish someone would have told me about forgiveness. It is a choice. So often it is spoken about like an obligation, this thing that you have to do, but you don't. Especially when we're talking about traumatic things, big moments. You are not required to forgive. This is something that is 100% in your hands, whether you decide to do it or to not do it, to pursue the path, that journey of forgiveness, or to close the door now or always and say no. No one can force you into forgiveness. This is a choice that you hold the power over. I feel like this could be controversial to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. I genuinely think that forgiveness is pretty low down on the list of things that you need to be concerned about, especially in the immediate aftermath aftermath of going through something bad. Very often it is the key that everyone says, that's how I got free from my past. I finally was able to forgive things. And maybe that's true, and maybe that's a beautiful, good thing, but so often it is pushed as like this first step. Here's the thing that has always puzzled me about forgiveness and the pressure to do it and to do it quickly. In my mind, I can't forgive something that I don't actually understand the hurt of. And when you're talking about serious things like trauma, like deep lasting relational wounds, you generally don't comprehend the weight of it right away. It takes weeks and months and years to understand how this thing has affected you. Though certainly it can be an ongoing process until you are able to feel and acknowledge the actual pain, the hurt that has been caused. It becomes very difficult to forgive someone for it because you don't even know what that is yet. Looking back at my own life and situations, speaking specifically kind of in the spiritual realm, which for me was Christianity, it's so bizarre to me that a lot of people cared a lot more about my capacity and my willingness to forgive someone for something than for the thing that was done against me in the first place. Because things like trauma and deep pain are uncomfortable to be around, I do think that some people rush others into forgiveness and really stress the importance of this to get someone past it, to get them over it, right? Like if you've forgiven something, we think it's done, it's over with, and this person is uncomfortable and having a hard time, and maybe I don't know how to deal with that. So I'm gonna push for forgiveness because I know that's a good concept. And it's a lot easier to instruct someone to do this thing than it is to sit with them in their pain. Speaking specifically about abuse and forgiveness, because often those two topics are tied. When I had just gone through something that was so deeply painful, someone had taken a lot of things from me. They had taken my sense of security, my sense of safety, my mental stability. There was deep pain, deep betrayal. Being pressured to extend this mental gift of forgiveness to a person who had taken so much from me was a real mind-bending experience and something that kind of left deep scars. Because even contemplating this idea of I now owe this person in my head forgiveness, I now owe the person who has done such harm against me, I couldn't wrap my head around that for a very long time. It took years of researching forgiveness, looking into it, talking to people about it, trying to wrap my head around this thing to get to the place where I really understood that it doesn't have anything to do with this other person. At the end of the day, I really do believe forgiveness is a beautiful thing. I think it is a great tool that can be used. I think it is a long journey for most of us anyways, and yes, it is very freeing. There was a different situation in my life recently where pain had been caused. It was something that I felt for years. This relationship was fractured, and very recently I was able to, kind of grant that situation forgiveness in my mind, and it feels amazing. It feels great not to have so many negative thoughts, feelings, emotions built up the second I'm thinking about this thing, to have peace about it. It's nice, but it took me a long time to get there, and it was a choice I got to make for myself, and I don't believe that I was a better person for making it. I just think I realized it was a good choice for me to make and a healthy, good thing to do, and when I was ready to do it, I did it. I really wish that there was more of an emphasis in our culture on the reality that forgiveness is a tool. Yes, it's a good thing, but it is not the ultimate good. It isn't a moral statement making you a better person, and also it doesn't have a timeline attached to it. For so many years, I carried around this weight of failure and guilt and shame and self-hatred for not being able to forgive something that was done against me, and it was simply unnecessary. Forgiveness is part of the process of healing from trauma if you want it to be. But that, my friend, is up to you, and please don't let anyone else tell you differently. Now, did I ever forgive that person in that situation? I feel like this video wouldn't be complete unless I at least addressed that, right? I don't have an answer to that. There are many aspects that I have forgiven, and to me, the only way I've been able to make peace with that idea in my mind is basically saying, you know what? I am giving up the right to avenge this. I am giving up the right to revenge. I am giving up the active contemplation of that. Whether or not I actually believe in God, which I'm still working on, I am trusting this to a higher power of justice. It's not in my hands. For me, it's been recognizing that there was nothing any human could do that would make that situation right anyways. So I definitely feel a lot less emotion towards that situation. There are times where I'm like, yeah, I do feel like I've forgiven it, and there are other times where I'm like, no, and I have no intention to. It waffles a lot. It's a difficult thing. Like I said, forgiveness is a journey. I do feel exponentially more free from the pain that that situation caused me than I did even a year ago, which honestly feels great. So thank you for attending my vendetta TED Talk rant against forgiveness. It's not really against forgiveness, but rather the way that it is presented to so many of us. I know that a lot of people have been hurt by this idea of forgiveness and the way it is pushed upon us. I know I'm not the only one, but I am curious how it was presented to you. Do you view forgiveness as a necessary thing, as a good thing? Have you found ways to exercise it in your own life? Do you even want to? Let us know in the comment section down below and start a conversation. I'd love to see you there. Allow me to wrap this up by saying that I am not a mental health professional. Forgiveness is a difficult topic. These are just my thoughts on it. A big thank you to our sponsor, June's Journey. This is a game I genuinely enjoyed playing. I was playing it last night when I was watching the dogs run around outside. It's really fun and light and happy and could be useful after discussing such a heavy subject. A big thank you also to my patrons for making these videos possible. I so appreciate the community I have over there. Thank you to each and every one of you. You'll see your name play in the credits here in just a moment, but to you watching this video right now, thank you for spending a few minutes out of your day here with me today. You could be anywhere else in the world doing anything else, and you chose to hang out with me for a few minutes, and I really appreciate that. I love you guys, I'm thinking about you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.
Haven't heard from the sky all about it. Down the river, high tide flows around it. Through the whispers of pines, I hear them sing. The more you love, the more you live.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
Acéptame como soy.
Hola, bienvenidos a Cambiando el Mundo de Personas con Discapacidad.
No cambiaremos el mundo teniendo igualdad.
Mi nombre es Raquel Quesada y seré la presentadora del mismo. En el programa hablaremos de la no discriminación, la participación e inclusión plenas y efectiva en la sociedad, a la igualdad de oportunidades de los derechos y a la accesibilidad de las personas con discapacidades, el respeto a la evolución de las facultades de los niños y las niñas con discapacidad y sus derechos a preservar su dignidad, la inclusión, la sensibilidad, la educación, la diversidad. En este programa todos los sábados celebraremos las vidas de las personas con discapacidad. Que juntos podemos cambiar el mundo de personas con discapacidad.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor, y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.